Okay, it's April the 1st, and it's a Thursday, so that means week to week these videos will be coming out on Thursdays. And just to kind of recap everything that's going on, if anybody hasn't watched me before, about less than 3 years ago, I was 478.6 pounds. And then last year I was able to drop all the way to 267.6 pounds. And basically, this is just going to be a video series, a minimum over the next 100 days with one video every week. Kind of logging my progress from where I'm at now and getting back down and then past further where I was last year. August 3rd, my final weight was 267.6 in a video series I did last year. I had a couple of things happen in between then, which resulted in weight gain. So I'm just starting a new series, which is going to be logging my progress from where I'm currently at back down and further to my weight loss goal, which is somewhere around 230 pounds if I can get there. So that'll be at least over the next 100 days, if not until I get there and further, depending on how things go. So what I'm just going to do is on the screen, I'm just going to show a before picture and then an after picture. You can see them in the in the YouTube thumbnails. But yeah, this is me. I forget when. This is, I don't know, March something 2018. This is probably somewhere around my highest weight. I'm 5'9" for reference. So this is around 478 pounds. This is me last year, sometime I think in June. At around, I think on Instagram I said I was less than 265 here. This was shortly after the gyms had reopened where I live. And then kind of after August, like I said, there was some weight gain. So we're just going to start talking about what I'm going to do now. So for the last couple of weeks, I have been working on restricting my diet, which I've actually done really well on. So we're going to kind of do things similar to last year, although we're going to do them backwards. Last year, I worked with Beyond the Iron, and we started off caloric intake or daily calories of like 2,100 or 2,200, and then steadily dropped them down to about 1,600, which was okay. It was manageable. It was easy. I'm not working with Beyond the Iron this time, and this time I'm actually going to do it the opposite, is I'm going to, and this is what I've already done over the last 2 weeks, just to ensure that I can do it relatively easy. We are going to heavily restrict calories in the beginning and then gradually increase them as we get closer and closer to the goal weight that we want, because what we're doing is we'll be turning up the amount of exercise as we do that. So with right now, I also have a screenshot here of this was the kind of where I was in terms. Let me move this. This is here you can see I didn't like around August. This is around 260 pounds. These charts right here. I didn't weigh myself. I think I checked in once in October to see that I had gained about 30 pounds in 3 months of like just high inactivity and not counting calories, just to show how quickly it can get away from you. This is 30-pound weight gain in 3 months. So 10 pounds a month, 2.5 pounds a week is entirely possible. And then this is early March. This is 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, although this was a little bit higher than I thought it was. It was around, 2 weeks ago, it was around 341 pounds on the scale. At that point, I immediately just cut diet from all carbs because I want to just start flushing fluid out and just kind of get an idea of where I'm truly at if I'm not bloated. Because let's be honest, I got used to eating chicken nuggets and just things with carbohydrates. And with my body type, I will bloat and retain water very easily. So 2 weeks of dieting and moderate exercise. We are sitting here. This is today's weigh-in, so we're at 311.8. So I've lost about 30 pounds in fluid slash fat in the last 2 weeks, which is an insane amount of at least weight loss. Again, we're not talking about fat loss yet, strictly, but this is my weigh-in as of this morning. You can see it says April 1st at 11:10 a.m. So essentially, what the plan is, and I got my projections and everything here, is, and I'm actually kind of excited this time because last year I didn't really start doing this kind of strict regimen until you can see May 25th here is, I actually weighed in virtually the same weight I am today. So I'm getting, almost a 2 month lead on, at least in relationship to the rest of the calendar year that I was last year. So I'm getting a 2 month lead on that. And as you can see by August, I had lost about 40 pounds. So that was, I think, about 6 weeks I'd lost 40 pounds. So I'm pretty excited to see if I can lose, a little bit more in the same amount of time. I kind of have everything laid out here. As you can see, I've got a screenshot from damrip.com with the projection that I'm going to try. And essentially, last year with daily deficit, I was aiming for 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day, which as I tracked it was pretty accurate. I resulted in about 2 to 3 pounds of weight loss per week, which I was happy with. But because I am incredibly motivated to get where I was last year, we are going to try to double that up. I put 3,500 calories per day. Yeah, I'm going to try the baseline for a pound of fat of weight loss per day, but really I'll be happy if I can get anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 calories per day. The way I'm going to do that is last year with Beyond the Iron, we started off with kind of a relatively high calorie intake, which I think was around 2,200. I had my diet planned out on how I was going to eat all of that. And then we kind of toned it down to about 1,600, which was okay. It was manageable. I was still eating kind of a lot of food. I'm going to do it the opposite this year. What I'm going to do is I am going to sprint down to my weight here of 267.6 with a heavily restricted calorie intake, which is going to be less than half of what I was taking in a day last year. And then I'm going to start to increase it as I up my activity level. Because what happened was I was eating more and working out more in the beginning last year, and then as I dropped calories, I noticed, well, I don't have to walk as much, I don't have to do as much, I can just tone, the slope went downwards as it was going forward. This year I'm going to do it the opposite. I'm going to heavily restrict calories, do a little bit less exercise, and then as the weight starts to come down, increase calories to match my hunger levels, which are going to have to increase with my exercise levels as the weight goes down. So we're going to do it opposite. This allows me to just crash diet for a short amount of time and then reach a homeostasis of a food and exercise regimen that I'm going to be happy with. Once I get to around 270 pounds, I think I'll be okay. And then I will just normalize everything. I'm not going to sprint down to my goal weight, which is again around 230 pounds. So long story short, this is going to be kind of a week-to-week progress of how I'm going to go from my current weight, which is around, 310 pounds, all the way down to 230. If I can, I'd like to lose, if I can maintain at least the 3,500 calorie deficit, I would like to lose 70 pounds in 100 days, which is entirely possible. There have been people who have done it. David Goggins is a really well known one. Ethan Suplee, if you know him, he's done an extreme amount of weight loss where he was also heavily restricting at first. He said he was bicycling for 8 hours a day. I used to do bicycling as well. I like bicycling, but for exercise, I actually prefer walking. I feel like I burn more calories in the amount of time that I do cycling. So basically, yeah, we're gonna go from 310 at least down to 270, hopefully within the next 5 to 6 weeks here. And basically how I'm going to do that, same as last time, I've got my Fitbit. The last 2 weeks I have been running calculations and just, monitoring my weight progress to ensure that, like I said, if it's accurate, if my calorie intake is accurate, my progression on the scale should be as such. And as you saw with the data for the last couple of months, 2 weeks ago I was 30 pounds heavier than I am today, and I've been accurately tracking my steps, as well as I've also gotten in 10 gym sessions this month. That was another big thing, was with the disruption of COVID last year, I essentially really never went to the gym. I'm going to go back to the gym regularly. I'd like to at least make it 15 visits per month, so once every couple of days. Although right now the gym is not the priority, gaining muscle is not the priority, nor strength. It is going to be about mostly cardiovascular endurance. So again, walking will be my primary form of exercise. Last year my walks were about 20,000 steps. It was about 7.5 miles. I remember I was either doing those daily or semi-daily. We're going to do that again, although starting in the beginning here, again, because my food intake is so low, I don't have to hit 20,000 steps to get the amount of calorie deficit that I want. The days that I've been tracking it, I really only have to get about 13,000 steps before my Fitbit says I've hit that deficit. So for right now, anything above that is just extra credit. So that's kind of my goal day to day, is a 3,500 calorie, overall deficit, which mostly is going to be through steppage, and then I will do weight training at least one or 2, 3 days. That may increase depending on how the weather is. Again, that's another thing I want to do, is I'm glad I'm getting it started earlier before it gets too hot. So I'm really excited to get started in April rather than late May. But I think we can do it. Anybody who watched my old videos knows that I'm pretty strict and I'm pretty open with the information that I give. This is not Amberlynn Reid. This is not Foodie Beauty. This is not Amy's life journey or any of that shit where they just talk a bunch of crap and don't do anything of it. I log all my data. I'm not sure when I will get the weekly reports from Fitbit. When I get those, we will go over those. So we'll just, that's my accountability. The screenshots of the scale and the screenshots of the Fitbit, as well as, you obviously see physical changes over the next couple of weeks as far as the camera. I talk on stream all the time. Like, I pull up one of these videos, I'm like, I can't believe how small I was compared to I am now. And right now, if you go back and look at the last video, I'm tiny as shit, and I'm about 40 pounds away from there, and I'm not upset about it. I'm excited to get back and then to go further, because like I said, last year, I know what I'm capable of. I just have to do it again, and it wasn't that hard. It's just time consuming. But again, with the projection I have, I can be, even at a relatively relaxed effort, I can be back at that weight in 5 or 6 weeks. If I decide to go harder, it could be 4 weeks, realistically. The only upcoming complications I see are in 19 days, I am expected to get my second dose of the COVID vaccine. I got mine, I don't remember, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And I did have symptoms from the COVID vaccine that prevented me from like moving for 2 days. Other than that, and barring any like blisters or anything that affects my mobility, I really don't see any hiccups. But I'm excited to do this again, and I have another arbitrary name for it. Okay, last time it was called the Operation Final Form. This time I'm calling it Operation Endgame. 2021 is the last year that I do any weight loss. This is it. This is done. All right. In 2021, you're going to see somebody who started at 478.6 pounds, and I'm going to at least hit 230. And if I'm happy, which I probably will be around 230, I'm going to stop with just trying to lose weight. And at that point, we're going to figure out what we're going to do then. So that is the plan. Weekly videos every Thursday. There might be random videos where I just watch either Amberlynn Reid or Foodie Beauty or something. I still have to do a response to Swolenormous. He did a video on me, which honestly I go back and watch sometimes. And people, there was at least one comment specifically asking about updates, and I posted that I would make a response video at some point, which I will probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how things go. But again, so daily activity at least is, again, just to reiterate, for specifics, if people want to know, my daily calories, 500, as close to 500 as possible. That honestly means a lot of these days I am fasting. If I do consume protein shakes, I do 1 scoop of protein whey isolate. It's 2 scoops. It's 240 calories. I get 50 grams of protein from that shake. I'll do 2 of those a day. I'll do 1 at 12, 1 at 12. That's it. If I decide to eat that day, so far I've either been eating apples or I've been eating these tomatoes. So I am staying as close to 500 calories a day, which is extremely low. I already know it's a crash diet. You don't have to tell me. It's not going to be for an extended period of time. The only other things that I might take is, like, say I might eat something, like I might have an energy drink like a Reign or something that's negligible in calories. So, you could say it's anywhere from 400, 600 calories a day, which means daily I'm trying to have an output on my Fitbit of 4,000 calories. Again, I usually have been achieving that by 13,000 steps a day, which is not that much. It's about 4 miles. Some days I may just want to go do the full 20,000 steps. That's fine. And then we will do resistance training every other day. Even what I can do is month to month. I have Anytime Fitness is my gym. It logs every time I go to the gym. Again, last month in March, when I kind of wanted to start everything and get over the muscle soreness that was going to come with going back to the gym, I had 10 check-ins. The goal is to have at least 15 to 20 in April, but resistance training is not the primary focus here. But anyways, I'm going to cut it for now. This video is getting long. Next week, I will have more data to show, at least as far as where we're at. And if I can maintain things, we should just inch closer and closer to 300. And we should break 300 in 2 weeks. If we can do it before then, great. If not, oh well. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. And unless I upload another video about something else. But tomorrow, next week, we will have... some actual data, and I'm pretty excited.